So, of course, Islamic State has not only attacked Iraq, which is kind of our ally in the Middle East. They're mainly Iran's ally. It gets complicated. They are also the enemy of our enemy, Bashar al-Assad in Syria. I told you, it's complicated. But they're the Islamic State, and we want no part of them, especially because they just killed 2 American journalists. They beheaded them, and they showed the videos. So everybody's livid over it. And the war hawks are beating the war drums mercilessly. They say, we have to do something. And what are we going to do? Well, of course, we're going to bomb them. We're going to kill them. We're going to destroy them. We're going to pulverize them the American way. Lindsey Graham, one of the top war hawks, says that condemnation is not enough. We need to use Air Force. He said that our Air Force, when we bomb people in the Middle East, it has never failed to work. I believe that bombing Iraq in the first place is part of what caused ISIS in the first place. That if we had not destabilized the Middle East by invading Iraq and toppling Saddam Hussein, that the Islamic State probably would have never come about. So I couldn't disagree more with Lindsey Graham, and neither can facts. But obviously facts are not what the right wing is well versed in. So now we go to Fox News. We have an anchor there, Heather Childress, and she's very upset about this ISIS situation. She says, do something to President Obama, all caps. That's why I'm screaming. Do something. That it was yes, repeated twice. You are the leader of what is supposed to be the strongest country in this world. Do something. Yes, that was 3 times now in one tweet, all in caps. Now, responding to another tweet, she says, no, Mike, you live in Virginia. Yes, I am suggesting Obama does something to stop ISIS from getting here and beheading you. Good idea? Question mark. You see that, Mike? If Fox News doesn't yell at the president to do something, which of course means spend more money on bombings and have the defense contractors get wealthier, instability in the Middle East leads to price of oil going up, the oil companies get wealthier, the contractors like Halliburton who service the defense contractors and the military get wealthier. You see, if you don't do that, you will get beheaded in Virginia. How's that for fear-mongering 101? And then she kind of ends it. She kept going later, but said, good night, everyone. Something needs to be done about ISIS now. Okay, all right. So you think she's bad? Then here comes Geraldo with his tweets. Geraldo Rivera, also Fox News anchor. He says, ISIS is said to seek a U.S. declaration of war for prestige. We must teach them the truth of old life lesson to be careful what you wish for. Now, if he left it right there, I probably would agree with him. You know, ISIS says that they are basically inviting us to attack them for their own purposes, so that they could then rally other Sunni Muslims to say, you see that, we're fighting the great Satan, we're fighting America, come join us, right? But I'm with Geraldo. Be careful what you wish for. We do come there. You might have a little bit more on your hands than you realize, and so will we, okay? So I'm not happy about any of these developments, but Geraldo didn't leave it there. He then went on to say, morning, the president finally declared our strategic goal to degrade and destroy ISIS. We must hold him to it. Behead the ISIS butchers. Oh, I see. If we adopt the tactics of the terrorists, that will make us much better than the terrorists. Okay. I believe an eye for an ISIS leaves the whole world blind, as Mahatma Gandhi said. I'm not saying that we hand out flowers and unicorns to ISIS, okay? And the killing of those journalists made my blood boil. I mean, those are unbelievable heroes, went to go cover what's happening in the area, and then ISIS in their brutality beheaded them. Today there's another report out that they executed about 770 Iraqi soldiers that had actually turned themselves in. They had surrendered, and they executed them, buried them in a shallow grave anyway. Now, ISIS is hideous. I'm not sure doing the same things as ISIS is the right way to go, okay? Now, John McCain has a much simpler solution for ISIS. Let's hear him out.
ISIS, what are we going to do about it?
Kill him.
Oh, kill him. Well, that'll do it. Okay, terrific. Problem solved. That worked so well in Iraq because that didn't create ISIS. Wait a minute, that did create ISIS when we went to go kill them all in Iraq. Interesting. So now we go to President Obama. How is he going to deal with this? Well, he's also going to talk tough, and he's heard all these critics, so he's going to say, don't mess with America.
Whatever these murderers think they'll achieve by killing innocent Americans like Stephen, they have already failed. They failed because, like people around the world, Americans are repulsed by their barbarism. We will not be intimidated. Their horrific acts only unite us as a country and stiffen our resolve to take the fight against these terrorists. And those who make the mistake of harming Americans will learn that we will not forget, and that our reach is long, and that justice will be served.
All right, now, taken by itself, I like that video. It's tough talk, but it's well-deserved, like Geraldo's first tweet. I like it fine, and I do want to go get the guys who killed those journalists. Now, Joe Biden's going to take it a step further. He's kind of in campaign mode here because he thinks he's going to run for president. I got bad news for him. But anyway, he's up in the Northeast, or in Maine, campaigning, basically, if you ask me. And here's what he says.
We dusted ourselves off, and we made sure that Osama bin Laden would never, ever again threaten the American people. We came back, Boston strong, blaming no one but resolve to be certain that this didn't happen again. Today, America may be grieving, still grieving from Jim Foley, a native of New Hampshire, as I said, who grew up in Rochester. But the American people are so much stronger, so much more resolved than any enemy can fully understand. As a nation, we're united. And when people harm Americans, we don't retreat. We don't forget. We take care of those who are grieving. And when that's finished, they should know we will follow them to the gates of hell until they are brought to justice. Because hell is where they will reside. Hell is where they will reside.
Well, like Geraldo's first tweet, I would say be careful what you wish for. I don't really want to follow them to the gates of hell. It's not a good place to be. And Biden there at the end sounds like one of the ISIS guys saying, we will put you in a bloody hell and you're going to follow us there. Well, apparently on that we have agreement, and it is not an agreement that I'm in favor of. President Obama on this same day said we're going to send 350 more troops into Iraq. Now we're nearly at 1,000. Here we go. We're creeping back in. Those are troops on the ground. Even though they're ready to do combat, the president assures us that they are not combat troops. I don't know what that means. That is a distinction without any meaning whatsoever. And then on top of that, now Rand Paul, the one guy who was standing out, and it was a Republican, a libertarian, and on principle saying, hey, don't get mired in the Middle East. Don't keep starting these wars. In fact, just last week he wrote an editorial. He went on television saying that Hillary Clinton is a war hawk and he wouldn't get involved in this stuff. Today he comes out and says, yeah, we should bomb ISIS and we should go to maybe even war with ISIS. So everybody agrees. Violence begets violence, and that's awesome. And the answer is, if we just bomb them, then they will be scared and they won't do any of this. Well, that's interesting because the Associated Press reported about the Sotloff video. That's the one where Sotloff, one of the American journalists, is killed, beheaded. They say in the Sotloff video, a masked militant warns Obama that as long as U.S. airstrikes against the militant group continue, quote, our knife will continue to strike the necks of your people. In other words, not if you bomb us more, we'll stop. If you bomb us more, we'll continue and we'll behead more people. Now, I'm not saying you should be intimidated. That's screw ISIS, right? And I don't care what their threats are. But what I'm telling you is this whole idea of do something, cut their heads off, doesn't really solve the issue, okay? It's not like they're so scared by that, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, sorry, uncle, we didn't mean it. Uncle Sam. No, they're going to continue to behead people, and we're going to have a lot of blind people and a lot of headless people, and it's going to go on and on. Again, the answer is more nuanced. It's more sophisticated. You have to be smart here and have a strategy for how to defeat ISIS, and it's got to be a little bit more thought through than bomb them, kill them, just set them on fire, behead them. Yeah, that's nice, easy, tough talk. Follow them to the gates of hell. I know, you're very, very tough. But in reality, they have some popular support on the ground. They've got a third of Iraq. They've got a third of Syria. What is the real strategy for how we use our minds to defeat them and to make sure that they don't capture the entire Middle East? Because right now they're on that trajectory, and it's a scary one. They are a real threat. So let's please be Americans, be smart, be leaders of the free world, such as it is, and actually use our minds to try to defeat them in smart ways through good strategy, not just, oh, we're going to behead more people than you. So God help us all, because right now, not a lot of our leaders are headed in that direction.